Hey guys, welcome to my channel. So today's video is going to be back to school hacks, tips, and I'm going to share food ideas that I absolutely love all of these anyway, but I put a little bit of a back to school twist on them. That way to make them fun in case you are actually going back to school. And there's nothing wrong with homeschooling, virtual learning, anything at all. And I did make sure that all these hacks and tips I'm going to share with you work for whether you're homeschooling, virtual learning, or going back to regular school. So let's just jump right in. And yes, Rowdy is playing in the background. And if I shut the door, he's going to have a fit. So we're just going to have to deal with him bouncing around every now and then. Okay, so I'm going to do recipes after I go through these 5 tips. And the first one is organize your school/homework zone. And for me, I just reorganized my desk. And for me, that's kind of how my homework zone is. My school/homework zone is always my desk. And then it sometimes goes into my command center, which is actually my next tip, is create a command center for important paperwork, study deadlines, homework deadlines. That way everything you kind of need is in one place. And for me, I've used the homework/school zone area and command center tips for years. Ever since I was in high school, I had my desk set up for my homework, and then when I went to college, it was set up for college, and then but for me, I've used the homework/school zone tip and the command center tip for years because that's how I functioned. Especially when I was in high school, I mainly used my desk because I didn't have command center when I was in high school. But my desk was set up specifically for me to be able to do my homework. And then as I went to college, and then I went to grad school, a lot of that was online. So I programmed my desk to work for homework and school. And that's when I created my command center, because that's when I needed the important paperwork, and I needed contact information, and I needed all that stuff at my fingertips. And that's the best way that I found to do that, is to have a command center. And of course, your command center doesn't have to be like mine, which is right next to my desk. It could be in your kitchen or your office or whatever works best for you. But I am going to show you a brief overview of my desk and my command center after this. Okay. And the next 3 tips are more planning related than anything else. First one is actual planning. I know a lot of us in 2020, we bought a planner and we got excited to plan the new year. It's like, and now it's July, we're getting ready to go back to school. Well, I guess it's August when you're seeing this video. And we're thinking, okay, why buy a planner? Why plan any of this out if we don't know what's going to happen in the future? But I recommend that you buy a planner, even if it's a small one. That way you can write in important dates, homework due dates, project due dates, stuff like that. Even if it doesn't, that way you're not breaking the bank. I wouldn't break the bank on it this time around. Even if you just go to the dollar store and buy a $1 planner. At least that way you have something to plan in. Okay, the next one, so number 4, is have a morning routine. And this one is probably, it's either the most important or the second most important one there is. Because my morning routine when I was going back to school, and I do have a video of my grad school morning routine on here somewhere. I will link it down below or in the cards if I remember. because when I was going to grad school, it was all online. So I do share with you my morning routine and how my morning looked as I was going to grad school. I wish I had my college morning routine, but I wasn't doing YouTube when I was in college. I didn't start doing YouTube till I was in grad school, so yeah. But it still works. And having a morning routine really helps with getting you awake and functional before having to jump into your day. And number 5, the final hack / tip, whatever you want to call it, is have a nighttime prep routine. I do have a nightly prep routine. I'm not completely sure when it's going up. Yeah, it'll be up sometime next week or the week after that. But it's coming up pretty soon, so be on the lookout for that. And my nightly prep routine is probably more important than my morning routine, because my nightly prep routine is when I get everything ready for the next day. And that helps me more than anything else, knowing that I have everything set up and ready to go for the next day, except for maybe 1 or 2 things. So I'm going to show you the overview of my desk, my command center, and then we'll jump into some back to school food ideas that I absolutely love. So yeah. Okay, so this is my desk. I have my notebook, paper, my index cards on this side, and then I have my desk organizer on this side with my pens and pencils and markers and everything in it that I need for my command center. And then I have my command center where I prep for the night before, I prep for my morning routine, and I have everything for work or school or whatever. And right now it's work. And then first recipe is applesauce cinnamon muffins. You'll need sour cream, 2 eggs, 1.5 cups of applesauce, flour, sugar, brown sugar, vegetable oil, vanilla, and cinnamon. I will have this recipe linked down below for exact measurements, but I started by putting all my dry ingredients in one bowl, and then I went through and put all the wet ingredients in another, and then mix those together. This is all filmed so you can see it all, but it's just easier if I leave the recipe down below and the directions down below and just show you how I did it. hardly ever actually spray the cupcake liners when I make muffins, but this recipe said to, and I'm glad I did, because they did stick, even though I sprayed them. And this is what they look like after they were all done. And they taste as good as I thought they would. Most people said they were a little bit too sweet, but I don't think they were. Okay, the next recipe is notebook Oreos. And I just call it this because it's a white chocolate Oreo, and you kind of paint it to look like a notebook paper. And I'm just one of those people who likes white chocolate Oreos, so yeah. But this recipe was one of the simplest I found, and I'm only doing two. I'm doing a breakfast recipe because that is one thing that I never had in a cute little dessert snack treat, because that was one thing when I was going to school. I always wanted some kind of sweet thing in my lunch or when I got home from school. So yeah, and right now I always like white chocolate Oreos, and these are simple enough. So yeah, so that's what I made, and all I had to do was melt the white chocolate and dip the Oreo in it, and then you don't have to paint it as a notebook, but I did. to paint these, I just took, it actually was a stick because I couldn't find a paintbrush or a toothpick. I just dipped it into the food coloring and made lines on the chocolate. And that's how I made it look like a notebook paper. You could use blue, but I used black for fun because I couldn't find the blue, so yeah. But either way, it looked like a notebook once it got done. So this is what it ended up looking like when it was done, and I just put an A on top because even though I used red food coloring, I didn't like the idea of putting an F. Yeah. This is going to be it for this video. I hope you like the food ideas and my hacks and tips for back to school. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you have not done so already, hit the red subscribe button down below. Other than that, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye bye.